A really warm welcome back to the Algarve, and it has been a spectacular week again with the weather. It's a little bit breezy, and I've just noticed the top of the pulley tunnel's pulling away again, so I'm going to have to tell Abe about that one. I've been in the accident book again. I fell over in the pulley tunnel I'll show you in a minute, and I've managed to break my arm again. So it's the right one this time, the one that I use the most often. So but I've still got stuff to do, and I'm just not going to let it try and hinder me. I am determined to crack on with everything, and just try and not let it affect me. So I have got some tomato plants that I need to pot up, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to take this off, and I've got a plastic bag. I'm going to put over this cast, and I'm going to crack on with it. This is the thing, is like the older you actually get, I'm 59, and the older that you actually get, you sort of like think, am I doing the right thing? Having a farm, starting a farm. And for 90% of the time, even with the planting, even though it's hard work, it's enjoyable. And even though we have got flat land, there's an awful lot of things to trip over. And that was just stupid. It was stupid of me to have so many things laid about. I need to be a lot more tidier. In here we've got like plant pots, bags of peat that Eb's put down. There's so much to trip over, you know. Out on the land, at the moment there's so many wires, bits of stones, everything. There is really an awful lot to trip over when you're working here. So I need to be less clumsy. I am clumsy, but it's just one of those things. So what happened was, I was popping something on the shelf over here. I tripped over this container backwards like that, and landed on the pallet, and to steady my fall I put my arm out stupidly. But I do need to tidy up this polytunnel. So what I've actually got is, you know, my round courgettes that actually self-seeded. I actually made a meal with it the other day, and it was really nice. I think it's a mixture between a melon and a courgette. So I've got some seeds here, and in the empty spaces of where we've actually planted the melons, some of them just haven't come up. I'm going to pop these directly into the little trays, which are on the floor with the ants. So anyway, I'm gonna quickly do that and see if anything comes up. Nothing to lose. So I've got my trusty plastic bag and put on my cast. Just not taking some pot. Are you helping?
Okay, I just started working on the ruin yesterday. It's been about a year now, and I've just doing the groundwork and some of the retaining walls on the side. Now the only trouble is, as I was working yesterday, as soon as I picked up a stone, I didn't realise there was a wasp hive underneath the stone, which was just roughly about here. And as soon as I picked the stone up, I thought I was getting bit by nettles. And it wasn't. It was hundreds and hundreds of wasps. I went straight in the house for shelter, like a coward. But I'd sooner be a coward than spend the next few hours stinging and in agony. So this morning, I got up this morning and I put a little trap down here. But, as you can see, this is what I'm doing. Let's we turn the camera around. I finally started working on the ruin. Now, I'm not doing many hours a day on the ruin because the weather's starting to get really hot. Spencer's gone back to the UK, so I'm on my own now to do this work. So what I've done is, I've dug a shallow footing, not a deep footing. If you remember, this is a shallow footing of about 2 foot down. And I'm building a stone wall across here. The first level, I'm going to be building it with concrete and cement. So it's all going to be mixed into the stones, but it doesn't have to be totally neat because it's going to be slightly below ground level. Once I get to a certain height, I'm switching over to lime and sand, and that hopefully we're going to get a solid wall which will be allowed to move if we do get any seismic activities. I'm not allowed to put metal in the ground at all because it's a different type of footing. I'm having to rebuild the original farmhouse because the side walls were getting compromised because there's no half the roof was gone on one side. So with this method, if the roof does get compromised in the future, like 20-30 years time, it's not going to impede the building. Plus it will look a lot better and it won't be damp. And that's the key issue, will not be damp. Now, as you can tell, the wall, I've done the wall at nearly 1 metre deep. So the wall on this side here is very thick because I'm going to turn this wall into a feature once it goes all the way up. So you're going to have a wall we can sit inside of, like a chair. Gives more space, and I hopefully can make it like a castle look. Fingers, if the wife approves. Now some of these stones are massive. So like the size of this one here, there's no way I could have lifted this on my own. So I'll put my digger with a tupper truck and I bring it as close as possible and I basically put it down. Now these are the facing stones I'm going to put in line here. You normally work on the line with even with stone walling, but because it's the first base course down, I'm going to do it by eye across here. So that's hard work. Let's get back down to the hard work, shall we? I always like to make sure all my joints are filled. Even with stonework, even if you're using small stones, always make sure everything's nicely filled. there's no gaps. And if you see any stones like this, these are nice facing stones. I always keep these ones till last.
Yeah.
And if I get any stones like this, which isn't really good for anything, I put them in the middle. And I set them in.
This is why half my seeds don't come up. I've just witnessed them taking a seed out the tray that I've just planted, rushed to get my camera, and that's it, they're off with it. So out of nearly half of the melon seeds that I planted, they just didn't come up. I've also planted in this area here and at the back peppers, not one came up. I planted fennel, again none came up, and I planted some carrots and only a few came up. So I know what the culprit is now. I hate killing things, but there comes a point that you can't be doing work for. It probably took me a good week or two to plant those seeds for them to be stolen by ants. So I'm going to have to put some bicarbonate of soda down. I am trying to keep everything organic, so it's the only way. The thing is with ants, it doesn't matter how much you put down, they just move to somewhere else. And I know for a fact that this farm has got probably billions of ants. They're all over, they're everywhere. So there's only so much you can do, but so I actually put the seeds that I did yesterday on the shelf over here. It's a bit more of a trek for them, so we'll just have to see what comes up, if anything comes up. You must have a lovely vegetable anti-garden somewhere down under the soil. Lots of melons, pumpkins and peppers and courgettes. So we have managed to plant the last of the melons. It's taken a month from actually sowing them to actually being able to plant them all. So it's just so nice knowing that we don't have to plant a row of melons. It is hard work, but once you do it and they are planted, it's just a matter of switching the water on and making sure that they're all right. So it is just a good feeling knowing that you've done it. So We planted a lot less than what I wanted to do. Like I say, a lot of them actually got stolen. But let's just say the good thing about melons is that you get from one plant, you get 2 to 4 melons per plant. And if you're really lucky, like what we did last year, we managed to actually get a second crop. So from actually planting in a month ago, from actually planting in May, your seeds, they should be ready in August. So it is quite a short space of time, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a fast growing fruit, so it is something that's really good to grow. The thing is, our neighbour, he has got Brussels sprouts, and he's got lovely Brussels sprouts, but to grow Brussels sprouts here you need to use all the pesticides. Brussels sprout plants that I've had in the polytunnel for a year, and they're literally so tiny, and I keep thinking, God, I really do need to, you know, just dig them up. We've had maggots in them, we've had the love bugs that love them. It's like everything will eat a Brussels sprout, but melons so far seem to be quite good. So I'll show you our little melon patch. But the thing is that we haven't just grown melons, because I started growing courgettes and butternut squashes as well. So because I was transplanting them from the trays and putting them outside, they have actually got mixed up. The leaves look very similar. So I have got some butternut squashes in here, I've got some courgettes in here. So they're not all melons. But I do have some cucumbers in here as well. So it is going to be a field full of surprises, and I'm just hoping that everything goes as well as it did last year with the melons. So we've got some cucumbers over here. But when you think about your dream and the future, I wouldn't change a thing with what we are actually doing and trying to achieve, because I think trying to grow your own fruit and vegetables, I think it's going to be so important in the future. The prices of meat have gone up astronomically, and I noticed that in some of the shops, you know, for a piece of beef you're talking between 20 to 30 euros, and that is sort of out of our price range. So I think more people are going to become vegetarian. I absolutely do, and probably not from choice. Here in the Algarve and Portugal, a lot of people do rear their own animals anyway. The chickens, ducks, turkeys, pigs. I've just spotted some goldfinches. So for those people, and also they do go out hunting wild boar, so the meat for them is going to be available. But I would have said the majority of people will be cutting down on meat. So maybe farming vegetables is the way to go. And it would be brilliant if people came up to the farm and chose their own vegetables, totally organic. They could pick their own melons, cucumbers and squashes, and I think that's that is my dream. Whether they would actually want to come up to where we live, I don't know. Last year I actually put on Facebook for people to come and pick their own vegetables, and all I seemed to get was, do you deliver? To deliver one watermelon down to Albufeira, it would cost me as much in actual petrol to get there. So, but it would be nice if people did come and have a look around the farm and actually pick their own. So we have, I've just found this beauty, another round courgette.
Now look at this. How strange. Okay. She's going to sit there, and I'm just going to chop this one out. Ow. Quite sharp, these.
I think could be a butternut squash.
Oh, a lot of ants on it. Oh, the fire ants as well. Nesty little buggers they are.
Well, I'm glad that you did it and not me then.
Fire ants have a tendency to really hurt. Little buggers, but they do hurt.
The little ants hurt more than the big ants, don't they?
Yes.
So.
That's ready. Last thing she needs any more injuries. Okay, see if there's anything else amongst this little... Oh look, we've got another one going there.
Let me see.
Another strange round one.
Oh yeah. So,
I've been bitten by little ants. Well, I'm very impressed with Angela. She's grown an unusual courgette.
Which we're going to have for tea.
Yes. Followed by a butternut squash, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we'll have that in soup.
And I do think we've got more little bits and pieces growing in there, but it's just like finding them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's endeavour to bring them in. Okay, we're just going to slice this.
Not quite sure what it is, if it's a butternut squash. Oh God. Do you know, I don't even know if it's a squash or courgette.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice it down the middle.
Yeah, I'm not ready to make soup with it, Eve, so...
Okay, well let's take it a bit further back.
It actually looks...
It's a courgette.
I don't know, it could be a butternut squash.
Can you eat these raw? That tells you how much I know about this kind of vegetables. So we're going to work out what kind of it is. So I'm just going to do that. Now it's quite soft in the middle, so I'll take the middle bit out because I presume that's the seeds. And
It's really hard to decipher, really. Maybe it's a courgette butternut squash.
I think you've managed to do another cross, haven't you?
I think it must be a butternut squash.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because of the colour of the...
So what I'll do is I'll just do it like that,
yeah.
so it doesn't go off.
Well, we know that's another round courgette, but that is a whopper.
Yeah, and that's organic. No chemicals, no pesticides. Just plenty of fire ants.
So tonight I'm actually going to cook it with some feta cheese, some of our own olives, a drizzle of olive oil, and maybe some herbs and spices on it.
Now that should be fascinating. Your cooking is excellent.